So Gay Pride Month in the U.S. is like the 4th of July, but with better fireworks and fewer straight men pretending they like beer. But you don't like beer, do you? So is there something you want to tell us?
No. Is that what makes it? Is it if you don't like beer, then you like it up the rectum? Is that the rule these days?
You tell me.
Do you like beer?
Do you? I don't like beer.
Okay. Gay.
Do you like beer?
I've never really had it. I've never really got on with it, but I can't say I've tried it all that much.
You have had beer. You've told me in the past you don't like beer, which means gay. Let's move.
I've barely drunk beer though.
No. Let's get on with this.
Hello and welcome to Two Sides of the Pond. Dwayne is over here. Dwayne is gay. I am Matthew, a Brit. I am not gay. Let's get into this.
We're going to debate about that. All right. So, well, we're going into June, and June is huge.
I should get a pride flag, shouldn't I? Should I get some crayons out and just multicolour this?
You want to represent? Go ahead. I won't stop you. You don't want to represent? Oh,
not the UK. No. That's
what
the flags are for. Nice save.
Oh.
I could just smell all the outraged people just, charging at the screen because of what I said. Calm down. Sit back down, people. It's all good. It's a safe environment.
June is considered Gay Pride Month. Different parts of the United States celebrate on different weekends throughout the month. So I could tell you, like, the first weekend of the month, I believe, is down in or up in New Jersey at the Jersey Shore. I think it's because
irony.
It is very ironic, but then different weekends, I guess, for people who want to travel and celebrate it in different areas, because in New York City, I believe it's the last weekend of June that they celebrate. And in New Jersey, it's the first. You hop around and, you don't get to miss out on a big celebration. We have huge parades, especially in New York City. They're huge in New York.
How do they compare to Mardi Gras? Do they still throw beads and stuff at you, or what is it?
They throw lube.
It's a square set you should go buy.
They have parade floats. They have people marching. It's a big celebration for the community of all sorts.
How many have you gone to? How many have you attended in your time?
At least a dozen.
At least it doesn't. Okay, so
in New York City, yeah.
Do you feel
between
safe?
New York and New Jersey, at the parades and at the celebrations, yes, absolutely, completely feel safe. The whole reason for it actually is because back in 1969, at a place called Stonewall, in Stonewall, there was a big. And please, anybody want to correct me down in the comments? I was not around in 69, but I could tell you that there was a big outcry against the police who were trying to shut down a place that had a bunch of gay, lesbian, and transgendered folks at a bar, and they tried to shut the place down, and they fought back. The gay people fought back for their own rights, and it was a huge outcry. And I think it was like really one of the first successful times that the gay community has decided had some kind of an uprising where they kind of won the battle. So they decided to celebrate it ever since. I've been to actually the Stonewall Bar in New York City multiple times, like more times than I can count. It's a great.
It's a noisy moped out my window.
Wow.
Jeez. Yeah.
Is your window open?
No.
That was really loud.
Could you hear it?
I heard it very well.
Did you hear it as well?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm 3 stories up. Yeah, I'm quite high up, but yeah, that was noisy.
That was really loud.
Damn. And I have noise cancelling headphones on as well. Still heard it.
So the first Pride March happened in June of the next year in 1970. And it's progressed. Like we have a pride flag, as a matter of fact,
That's changed
which
quite a lot
has
as well.
evolved. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't even know what the new flag. I'm a bad gay. I don't know what all the differences are in the new flag now, because originally it was the rainbow colored flag, and each color represented something about the community. So yeah, and then they had rings, gay pride rings that you would wear around your neck that kind of let other people know that you were a part of the community as well. So yeah, it was kind of interesting. For each color of the flag represent things like red was for life, orange is for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for harmony, and purple for spirit. And you know what's also kind of progressed and changed throughout the years is the actual LGBT moniker that they have. Because when I was growing up, it was LGBT. That was it. So it was lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. Now, in today's culture, it's LGBTQIA+, which, again, makes me a bad gay just because I don't always agree with all of that.
So what does the QIA plus refer to then?
So queer.
Queer. But what's the difference between queer and gay and lesbian? How do they...
That's a really
is it like
good
gay
question.
with extra steps? Like, what is it?
So queer is someone who doesn't feel like they were a part of the community, that they were just different.
Okay.
So they didn't feel like they actually belonged in that pot. Like they didn't, that label, just none of those actually included their label to them.
That's a bit of irony there. So I'm choking on my cock ring, apparently. There's a bit of irony there because, like, we have a saying in the UK, not so popular these days, but back in the day, used to say that things were queer. You know, to describe something, oh, that's rather queer. You know, to be like, it's rather weird, it's rather strange. You know, it's a bit queer. Right. So that's interesting that they've, but they're saying that they haven't found the right label for them that hasn't really fit. So they've gone for a queer, different. Which is
weird or different. Weird. Yeah. Then different than any of the other ones, but they don't represent the straight community in their eyes.
I see.
Yeah. And then I is intersexed. Are you okay?
My God. Siri just woke the fuck up.
Oh, like, what did I do?
Scared the hell out of me. Woo! Okay, I don't know why. She just popped up and maybe jump.
So I is intersexed and A is asexual.
Okay, both so the asexuals go part of the community as well.
Which I would always believe that meant queer.
Well, asexual?
Yeah.
Nah, I would say it's different to queer.
How so?
Well, because asexual is you have no sexual desires at all to anyone. It's nothing.
And they don't represent a sex.
Why wouldn't they represent a sex?
Most intersex people, I don't believe.
Oh, intersex. I thought you meant asexual.
Well,
which ones
maybe it's A is asexual.
Yeah. Asexual just means you just have no desires towards anyone. Not interested in anyone.
Okay. And then intersex would probably be the whole, told you bad guy. Asexual, I guess, would be no sex. Or intersex would be what exactly? We should look that up because we're going to fucking piss people off really bad today.
Yeah, going to anger the community. And it's your community.
I'm not the king.
You have to go straight. And what happens? Can you get kicked out of the community?
Well, if I do know if I turn enough straight people. Well, if I turn enough straight people gay, I get a toaster.
You get a toaster? Is that why you've been trying so hard?
Not for you.
I beg to differ.
Whatever. All right. Let's see. Wow, ChatGPT has no answer whatsoever.
Great. So ChatGPT is censored on the topic of the gay community. So
I think that, oh, wow, yeah. It won't answer that question. It just sits there and there's a little dot. Intersex. Intersex is a general term used for a variety of situations in which a person is born with reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't fit the boxes of female or male.
What the hell have they got? The toaster?
Oh, wow. I don't know. Intersex might be like when before your balls drop. I don't know.
But then you're not even of age.
Intersex is a term for people that doesn't fit male. Examples of intersex. Genitals that are in between typical male and female features. Chromosome variations, variations in the X and Y sex chromosomes, such as Turner syndrome. Hormonal variations, having male and female genitalia with variations in hormones.
Okay.
And having both ovarian and testicular tissue. So, is that the same as hermaphrodite?
I don't know. But if you got both a sac and an egg, you can impregnate yourself.
That's dangerous.
Well, I wonder what would happen. What would happen? It'll be a purebred baby. It would, wouldn't it?
I see your wheels turning. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, but it would be, wouldn't it? It's not a cross. It is pure. In theory, it'll be a very disease. Siri, go away. Sod off. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. No, I said sod off. I don't know why she's listening today. How do I turn her off? Can she bugger off because she's very noisy? Siri, go away. Ask Siri now. Go away. There you go. Turned off. She's gone. She's out of my life. She can go join the community. What were you saying? Yeah, because obviously when you have your kids with someone, it's a cross of DNA, right, between the two people. That's how it works, right? It's half and half. Easy means. But obviously, if you do a bit of incest, right, there's obviously risk there that the child is going to have some sort of
birth defect. Yeah,
because it's too pure, right? The DNA is far too pure. So I wonder how messed up it would be if you. I have no idea if obviously it's possible. I'm assuming it's not actually possible. But if you could impregnate yourself with your own juices, I wonder how deformed that child would be. I wonder how messed up it would be because it's just 100% you, right? There's no variation going into the mix. It's just you procreating with yourself.
So I'm thinking the whole sheep thing, the cloning of the sheep that they named Dolly.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, that's...
I mean, other animals manage it, don't they? But
well, yes.
Yeah, it's an interesting stat, though, on the topic of that. I do find this interesting, that if you assume, right, that obviously you have two parents.
Yes.
And those parents have two parents. And so on and so forth, right? I think it's something like by the time you go 10 generations back, there's more people required than there has ever been in existence. Which means there's a lot of incest that's gone on over the years because there has to be. The population has increased, right? But if you think that if there was no incest and everyone is all, not part of the same family over the years, then we must have started off with an enormous population to get to where we are now, but we haven't. Population has grown over times. So there's a thing like if you are in the UK and then you end up, for example, me being white and British, if I was to meet someone who's also white and British and have kids, if you look at our family tree, it'd be very, very easy to find the same family members somewhere in that tree. Will be somewhat related to each other. Distant, very distant, but related.
I remember, I think it was Variety magazine did a huge article about how majority of the people of the world are from Africa.
Yeah, I think that's yeah.
I believe that was the thing at one point where they had said that all the DNA somewhere, everybody's African, and if you were to look back, way back, our ancestry originated in Africa. So that would go along with what you're saying.
Yeah. Weird, isn't it? It's weird. But it is then interesting weird. On how much incest becomes then too much to the point that you then have the birth defects. Because obviously an amount
Well, I don't want to find out, and I don't think that's okay. No. And that is illegal. We are talking about something completely illegal here.
No, it depends. It depends on how related they are. Because again, you could meet third cousins. That's not illegal. You're related, but it's not illegal.
But you're talking about getting closer and closer. You want to know how closer you have to get before you have birth defects.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious. At what point does it really?
The closer you get, the more illegal this gets.
Oh, yes, it does. But clearly it happens. You know, we have specific places in the UK where it's just known as just a whole village of inbreds. It's just the way it works. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I will not be putting that on my to-do list.
We're driving past it a few times. But yeah, it's where my ex used to live.
There's Uncle Brother.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but it's still interesting because clearly you are able to procreate with family members to an extent because the only way we can be here today is if that happened, and the majority of us don't have birth defects. So there's obviously a line somewhere where that risk.
There's something to be said right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But there's a line somewhere where the risk exponentially gets larger, and I wonder at what point that is.
Yeah,
but there you go.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know,
right. You haven't got to worry because
I won't be procreating.
Yeah, it's all good.
So. I am just not happy with the gay community over the last 20 years anyway. So
shots fired. Just creating your own grave there, I think.
No, I mean, it's fine to have a good time. It's fine to have fun. However, throughout the years, the gay pride celebration has gone a lot less wholesome and not family friendly.
Not family friendly.
No.
What's been unfriendly about it?
Guys wearing jock straps on floats going down on public streets.
Okay.
That's not very family friendly.
No.
And also,
does it need to be family friendly?
It's out in public. It's not a private.
Yeah, but it's like Mardi Gras, but that's not family friendly either. If you got people getting their titties out.
Well, yeah.
So, is it less appropriate than Mardi Gras?
It depends on where your tolerance level is, because here's what really turns into the question of morals and how you want to represent yourself. You're going out there and saying you are proud to.
Oh my God. Okay, you were saying.
Yes.
What were you saying?
What you're saying is, what you were saying was that how is it different than Mardi Gras?
Yes.
Right? So if you want to be taken seriously, you don't throw on a jockstrap, cover yourself in glitter, and dance around practically naked out in public. That's not a way to be taken seriously. And it's more socially acceptable for straight people to be out in America, or out and about in a community, to act like a fool. It's just so much more socially acceptable.
Do you want to be taken seriously? Is that the intention? To be taken seriously?
Yes, because the big fight about it is to be able to do things like be out in public without it being illegal, without being arrested, with being able to hold hands with a same-sex partner out in public without getting, without the fear of being attacked.
And is that fear still there to this day?
Yes.
Obviously, I get that it was back in the day for sure, but is it still there now?
Not as much, but it is out there.
Okay.
It is completely out there, and depends on where you are, where it's more acceptable in some places than others. New York City, San Francisco. There are places that have gay communities specific for kind of like safe havens for the LGBT community. So, yeah, I mean, I just think keeping it at its core, keeping it at LGBTQ, like, which includes everybody, instead of like, you can't have it both ways. People are saying, I don't want to be labeled. Don't label me. Because when you label us, people in general, you treat us differently because we have a label.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you don't want to be labeled, but you keep adding monikers and labels to the community.
Yeah, it's a weird cycle.
So
but it is an interesting point to want to be accepted and whatnot. Labeling and being categorized, in my view, is not how that's achieved. Mm-hmm. That's just further highlighting the difference.
Yeah.
And it then keeps that as a category that is then outside of other categories until you break down these walls and everyone just integrates as one community, the human race, one community, regardless of gender, sexual preferences, religious views. Take it all away. We are one species.
Yeah.
That's all it is. So until we have just one big group of everyone, then there's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be a problem.
Well, and the problems that I faced in the 90s is very different than the problems that we face now, or maybe not
easier now?
as
if you were younger,
okay, yeah,
like a teenager, and you've skipped and hopped out of a closet, for example, you finally realized, and you want to now tell the world. Is it easier now, do you think, or would it be harder than what it was for you back in your day, all those decades ago?
It would be easier now for me to come out as gay. However, the pendulum has now swung a bit to the trans community. They're the ones with the spotlight on them, which is all a part of the same big community, the big community of the LGBTQ community. Coming out wasn't easy back then, and coming out is a very personal thing. I've always seen it as it really is nobody's business what I do, who I love, who I don't love. It really isn't. I mean, I'm of the mindset of mind your own business. I don't always offer the fact that I have a husband. Not everything I do in my life revolves around the fact that I'm gay. You're a very special breed, Matthew.
Okay.
No, it's true. The conversations that we have, it's just natural because we're friends and because we're so close that I'm like, I could tell you, Mark, and he's my husband because we've had those conversations. But I think what winds up happening is I was going to say accused, but that's the wrong word. I've been asked multiple times by people I meet, oh, what does your wife do? They automatically just assume that I have a wife. And I'm fine with that because let me tell you, because it would be a very much more difficult or harder road I would face if I know certain people who automatically, the people that would ask me what my wife does are the people who I know would think of me very differently if I corrected them. Which is sad. It really is sad because I depend on human connection for my job. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I work in a tip-based society. Like, that's my job. A good portion of my income is based off of tips and gratuities. So if that would offend you, that I don't have a wife, that I have a husband, then chances of you giving me a higher gratuity or a gratuity that you think I deserve just went away. You know, so 99% of the times I just roll with it.
Yeah.
Which is sad because that's having to hide in the closet. And that's what gay pride is about. You know, not being afraid to correct someone and say, oh, no, I have a husband and he does this. And I think I'm a very simple, person when it comes to this train of thought. I'm not the one that's going to be watching the news and every single day and really want to fight the cause and, have my own. I'm not wearing pride flags on my clothing and throwing it in people's faces saying, accept me. Just, it doesn't matter. It does not matter at the end of the day when I go home, who I'm going home to or what I'm doing in my bedroom with who. It doesn't matter what you do either to me. My friends are my friends outside of the bedroom. You know what I mean? Like, I really do believe all of the only difference between being gay and straight really is who I decide to share my body with. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
And it's sad that people can't, even people in my community, because I used to think I was the straightest gay person out there that I knew growing up. Like, because in high school, there were 3 gay people that were out, and I was one of them. And another one was a club kid in New York, who was very queer in his own way, using that label. And the other one was a very chip on their shoulder negative person where he had his wall up all the time, where if you went up to him and said hello, he would be very, what do you want? He was so defensive that he was very unlikable, to the point where you would think, this is why gay people are hated. You're an asshole. Like, stop being so negative. Stop. Just be a nice person. Just be a good person, and not see the straight community or anyone not like you as the enemy. But unfortunately, because of history, we are the enemy to so many people, and people still feel that way. So I say, during Gay Pride Month, just be yourself and be nice to everybody. I think that's what the final the takeaway from this for me is. Like, nobody should be treated differently for anything, for any reason. Just because I don't agree with you as a person, then I'm just not going to be your friend. That doesn't mean I have to make your life a living hell and I have to intimidate you because of it. There are all different types of pride out there. There's Black pride. There's British pride. Where
is there?
Yeah, of course. There are
Yay!
there are people out there who believe that their way is the only way and is the best way. Right? And when they travel, they're like, oh, fuck Americans, or fuck the Irish, or fuck Italians. You know, because they think they're the best. And straight people think the same way about gay people, and there are gay people that think the same way about straight people, and anyone not like themselves. And I think gay pride basically is supposed to be about just being okay with who you are. There's Italian heritage, you know, pride. There's everything out there.
Yeah, there is.
You can be proud, but not like my way is the only way and my way is the best way.
Yeah, there is a lot of various communities out there in the world these days. There's always something going on, isn't there? There's always sort of like something month or something day. You know, it's wild, and some of them are really crazy as well. Like the most random things you can have as a day of celebration. Mm-hmm. You know, there's some really bizarre things that we can celebrate apparently, but yeah, we do seem fascinated as a species into sort of creating stuff, celebrations around stuff.
Yeah. And it's okay to be proud. It's okay if you're proud of who you are and love yourself for who you are. That's fine. I want to know what people are proud of down below. Whether it's you're proud that you eat pancakes on Sundays, or, for who you love, just let us know down below. And with that said, we do have a Patreon where we talk utter nonsense afterwards. And we come out with an episode every week, and we pepper in some stuff as we go along, as we see fit. And yeah, so I think that wraps this up. What do you think?
I do indeed. Yeah.
All right.
Enjoy your Pride Month. I hope it's a good celebration.
Yes. Bye.
Bye for now.